this song, lyrics, music, everything is AI generated.
Speaking of AI, warehouse workers here in Vegas claim they've been laid off without any warning. The reason, they say, they're being replaced with AI robots.
These layoffs reportedly happening this month at Southern Glacier, a major beverage distributor with locations across the U.S. as well as Canada, including right here.
8 News Now reporter Jasmine Woke spoke with some of those workers to hear their side of the story. She joins us live in studio.
Brian, Kirsten, it's a sign of the times, they say.
AI companies are facing a shakeup at the top research ranks with high-profile departures at both OpenAI and Anthropic over the last week.
Jobs are done.
This highlights growing tensions over safety, ethics, and the pace of development.
You know, I feel like the way that we talk about AI and the problems with AI is mostly about like this consumption trap, right? It's so easy if we proliferate the creation of like assets, media, et cetera, to just be consuming mindlessly, you know, wireheading, et cetera. But on the other hand, like we as builders, as developers are so excited because we're super empowered by it. Like whether it's Claude Code, Codex, Gemini, whatever, like we are building more than ever, 10x, 100x kind of engineers. And so like how do you bring that to the masses and how do you kind of like allow other people to feel this joy?
Anthropic yesterday dropped a new labor study using its own data. This is actual usage from millions of Claude conversations to map which jobs AI is already displacing and which ones it's not yet touching. This displacement map, we're going to call it, lines up with where investors are already putting their money, and that is the halo trade. Heavy assets, low obsolescence. So capital is moving out of the knowledge economy stocks and into the physical economy. Goldman's halo basket has outperformed capital light names by 25 percentage points since the start of the year. Now, Anthropic's data shows why. For computer programmers, 75% of their tasks already covered by AI. Customer service reps, 70%. Financial analysts, nearly 60%. On the other end is construction, agriculture, transportation, installation and repair. Near zero penetration today. Anthropic's data backs up part of what we heard from Hassett earlier on our air, and you guys just ran a soundbite, and that is that experienced workers in AI-exposed jobs, they are more productive. That is certainly showing up in the data. But here's the part he's not emphasizing. Hiring of 22 to 25-year-olds in those same jobs has dropped 14% since ChatGPT launched. So unemployment, it hasn't moved because companies aren't firing people, they're just not hiring the next ones. And that is great for GDP today, but that is a problem for the labor market tomorrow, and it won't show up in the payrolls numbers.
Tesla is building Optimus Gen 2, a robot designed around long-term scale,
here's a humanoid robot,
and the vision of a mass-market labor machine. Unitree is delivering the G1, a compact humanoid focused on accessibility, articulation, and real-world deployment in labs, research, and development environments. Tesla Optimus Gen 2 stands at roughly 1.73 meters tall, placing it squarely within adult human proportions. Weighing around 55 to 57 kilograms, it is engineered to function as a full-scale labor machine, designed to operate within environments originally built for humans. Doorways, workstations, factory aisles. Optimus is meant to move through them naturally. Its design language is unmistakably Tesla. Smooth surfaces, minimal visual complexity, and a form factor that feels closer to consumer electronics than traditional industrial robotics. Unitree's G1, by contrast, is intentionally compact. Standing around 1.3 meters tall and weighing roughly 35 kilograms with battery, G1 feels more like an adolescent-sized humanoid. This smaller scale is not a limitation by accident. It is a strategic decision. A lighter robot demands less torque, less power, less structural reinforcement, and significantly lower hardware cost. It is easier to transport, easier to recover from falls, and easier to integrate into lab environments. Where Optimus is designed to fit into the human workforce, G1 is designed to fit into the research ecosystem. Tesla Optimus Gen 2 operates inside Tesla factories performing controlled internal tasks. This provides valuable real-world data, but limits external validation. Unitree G1 lives in the wild. Universities, labs, conferences, demonstrations.
Out there.
It benefits from diverse user feedback and an evolving ecosystem. Tesla demonstrates ambition. Unitree demonstrates availability. Tesla Optimus Gen 2 and Unitree G1 are not simply competing robots. They represent two visions of humanoid robotics. Tesla pursues scale, autonomy, and AI-driven disruption. Unitree delivers accessibility, openness, and immediate practicality. Optimus Gen 2 may become the most disruptive humanoid ever built if Tesla delivers on price, reliability, and mass production.
But there'll be more humanoid robots than humans
developers
eventually.
And institutions needing real hardware, Unitree G1 holds a decisive advantage because the future is not just about potential, it is about what you can actually use right now.
The Cybercab is no longer in its prototype or initial testing phase. It's now moving through manufacturing processes that are intended to scale dramatically. Before the Cybercab, Tesla's autonomy efforts have largely centered around software updates deployed to existing cars on the road. The Cybercab represents something different. It is the first Tesla vehicle designed from the beginning without a steering wheel or pedals. There is no manual override built into the vehicle architecture. A sub-$30,000 fully autonomous vehicle would place the Cybercab in a price category that competes not only with other electric vehicles, but also with entry-level combustion cars. While the Cybercab represents Tesla's passenger autonomy ambitions, the Tesla Semi reflects a parallel strategy on the freight side of the business. Recent developments suggest that Tesla is quietly preparing to expand the Semi beyond North America. A job listing tied to Tesla's commercial charging team specifically references megacharger deployment in Europe. That detail is significant since large-scale charging infrastructure for heavy-duty trucks is not something Tesla builds speculatively. The Semi's specifications make Europe a logical next step. The Tesla Semi Long Range offers approximately 500 miles of range with energy consumption around 1.7 kilowatt hours per mile and support for up to 82,000 pounds of gross combination weight. That set of specs makes the Tesla Semi feasible and competitive in the United States, where long-haul routes span hundreds, if not thousands of miles.
Waymo is already running paid, driverless robo-taxi rides in multiple US cities, and it's scaling. Waymo says it served over 14 million trips in 2025 alone, and it hit more than 1 million fully autonomous rides per month. It says it's aiming for 1 million rides per week by the end of 2026. Tesla, meanwhile, has been promising robotaxis for basically a decade, but the thing you can buy today is still called full self-driving, supervised. Tesla literally says the currently enabled features require active driver supervision and do not make the vehicle autonomous. That one word, supervised, is doing an unbelievable amount of work. Okay, we'll go piece by piece, and at the end, I'll give you the real reason this can't be copied like an app clone. 1. The scoreboard. Who's actually running a robo-taxi business? If you want the truth, ignore the marketing and follow the rides. Waymo. More than 1 million rides per month, according to Waymo and Reuters. Roughly 2,500 commercial robo-taxis as of November 2025, reported by Reuters. And Reuters noted CNBC is reporting that Waymo was around 450,000 paid rides per week by December 2025. Also, you can actually ride it. Waymo's own site lists service in the San Francisco Bay Area, Phoenix, Los Angeles, plus Austin and Atlanta through Uber. Tesla did roll out a small robo-taxi test in Austin, Texas in June 2025 with paying passengers, according to Reuters. But Reuters also pointed out the next challenge. Scaling from a small, carefully monitored test to anything resembling a real network is the hard part. And in California, it gets even more awkward. Reuters reported Tesla launched ride-hailing in the San Francisco Bay Area, but regulators said Tesla was not allowed to transport the public in an autonomous vehicle there, even with a safety driver. So the early Bay Area service was human-driven. That contrast matters. Waymo equals driverless service with the permits. Tesla equals a mix of pilots and supervised or human-driven services depending on the state. Waymo explains that to create a map, the team manually drives sensor-equipped vehicles down each street using LiDAR to paint a 3D picture. Then they process it into a map with context like speed limits, lane lines, and traffic signals. And they test and verify it before it goes fleet-wide. That does two huge things. 1, it reduces uncertainty. 2, it defines the ODD, the specific domain where driverless operation is allowed. California permitting documents for Waymo even spell out ODD constraints, including operations on roads with posted speed limits up to 65 miles per hour, about 105 kilometers per hour.
Crazy to be in a self-driving vehicle up to 65 miles per hour.
General autonomy on general roads, everywhere, which sounds amazing until you try to prove it's safe. And that's where the story flips. Waymo is already operating a real driverless taxi business. Rides, cities, permits, ops, and a safety case with receipts. Tesla is building toward it. A supervised consumer system today, a pilot in Austin, and big promises like Cybercab,
All right, so I'm going to quickly explain what the new Claude Cowork schedule
here we go.
tasks
Agents.
are, and then we're going to dive into
future,
use cases
future of
I've been
AI.
using. So instead
Agents.
of having to do manually tasks every single day, we can now have Claude Code do these for us. We could basically explain to Claude exactly how we want something done, and it can do this forever. We could type in a specific command and pick a cadence, whether that's daily, weekly, or monthly, and Claude Cowork can do things such as sorting our email inbox every day, or organizing files automatically, building reports while we sleep, and it even connects to 13 new app connectors that I'm going to show you in this video. Moral of this story, shared plugins plus scheduled tasks equal autopilot. This is where AI agents can actually go off and do things for us without us needing to give manual input. And where this
means they don't need you anymore if the AI
plugins feature that Claude Cowork just announced yesterday. If you don't know what plugins are, they essentially turn Claude Cowork into a specialist. There's pre-built plugins for your HR team, finance, legal, or your sales team. Or you could even build your own plugins directly. So now inside of Claude Cowork, with the new plugins feature as well as the scheduled task feature, we now have our own AI employees for $20 per month that we could train to do anything.
You know, you've got Project Stargate, 500
Can't
billion
pay a human $20 a month.
NVIDIA being unable to sort of keep up with that chip demand, OpenAI recently raising a 500 billion valuation. When it comes to automation anywhere, you know, how do you see this stack evolving over time?
Infrastructure and hardware is a foundation, not a destination. When the railways started, there were 173 railways. If you imagine beginning of the internet, few of us remember AOL, and large number of cables were laid out. After this infrastructure wave, you are seeing a beginning of a next $1 trillion opportunity, which is the software and the applications of AI. In the coming years, you will see about 40 to 80% of the current work being automated.
40 to 80% of jobs
enterprise. The
automated.
New world is about AI agents serving people. And AI agents are the ones that are orchestrating between the vast amount of applications.
So this is just going to increase exponentially.
Open source AI agent framework that runs on your machine, not in the cloud. On your computer, it can open apps, read files, send messages, run commands, and automate entire workflows. And because it's open source, anyone can build on top of it. Developers are already building custom tools, custom agents, and custom automations. That's why this project blew up so fast. But this new update takes everything to a whole new level. Let's start with feature 1, multi-model intelligence. Before this update, the agent used one AI model for everything. Now it can use multiple models at the same time. Some tasks are complex and need a powerful model to handle the thinking. Some tasks are simple, and a faster, lighter model can handle those in seconds. Now OpenClaw routes each task to the right model automatically.
Just then as a segue, like a quick introduction, Rosebud is a platform
video games,
you can build games.
Anything
by,
coding is done.
Just describing them. So it is, vibe coding platform, but really I think vibe coding now has a bad rep. What we're really building underneath the hood is agentic coding, or coding agents specifically for games. So they'll help you build assets alongside just like generating code. It's browser-based, so it does 3D, 2D. It'll do things like help you build up multiplayer, et cetera. And it's easy enough so that like non-technical creatives or just non-technical users in general can also really whip something up in maybe a few minutes, but then actually they end up being addicted and then end up building for like months.
Get you addicted to this AI.
So this is,
started with the video games.
This is a quick kind of fly through of how to use Rosebud. So you would either start from scratch. So
you get the kids, because this is like a Roblox simulation. They're going to get them young. They're going to start young so that these kids are
so it's like, why not?
already ingrained into this world of AI.
Yeah, it's just a little bit of music. Which actually we commission from real artists, but also, we can generate music too. But that's not the main thing. So here, what I'm showing is like really fast is like you can chat with the agent. There's like an asset tab there, and then afterwards you can just one-click publish.
The implications cascade upward. Eon's mission is to produce the world's largest connectome and highest fidelity brain emulation, targeting a complete digital emulation of a mouse brain and laying the groundwork for eventual human-scale emulation.
Now they're trying to simulate
in 2024,
consciousness in virtual
Philip
worlds.
Hsu and collaborators published in Nature a computational model of the entire adult Drosophila melanogaster brain, containing more than 125,000 neurons and 50 million synaptic connections, built from the Flywire connectome and machine learning predictions of neurotransmitter identity. That model predicted motor behavior at 95% accuracy. But it was disembodied. A brain without a body, activation without physics, motor outputs with nowhere to go. Now the brain has somewhere to go. Building on previous
that's
work,
crazy.
including Shu et al.'s whole brain computational model,
and uploading them into a virtual
v2
environments.
embodied simulation framework, and Osdil et al.'s research on centralized brain networks underlying body part coordination, this demonstration integrates Eon's connectome-based brain emulation with a physics-simulated fly body in MuJoCo. The result? Multiple distinct behaviors driven by the emulated brain's own circuit dynamics. Sensory input flows in, neural activity propagates through the
what
complete
is this supposed to lead to?
Motor commands flow
Human
out,
consciousness
and a physically
in virtual
simulated
worlds?
body executes the output, closing the loop from perception to action for the first time in a whole brain emulation.
Shadows retreat from the iron throne. We march through the valley of silent fear.
So music is one of the aspects where AI is already taken over. There's AI artists that you don't even know are AI. And they chart.
Click Create Music. Then first step, if you don't know about lyrics, how to create lyrics, go to Generate Lyrics. There you can give your input idea. Let's
He's showing how easy it is
transformation to
create one of these songs.
And then I'm going to click Generate Lyrics. Now it's generating the lyrics. As you can see here, verse, chorus, another verse, bridge, chorus, and outro. That's all done now. Now I need to provide a style. So in the style area, I'm saying R&B, breathy vocals, soulful, female vocals. I'm going to choose female and the song title. You have predefined templates which you can choose from. And then finally click Create. Now you can see it's automatically generating 2 versions for me, which I can try it out. And it took approximately 1.5 minutes. And
so just wrote a song in less than 2 minutes. And it sounds like something you would hear. I mean, that's crazy. I don't know what that's going to mean for our music artists, but
that is really nice.
Then you got video creation, movies, you know, digital media. That's why Hollywood is having such an issue right now, because basically everything they film and they create can almost be replicated with AI.
Is the most hyped AI video model of 2026 till now. So, what makes Seedance 2.0 stand out so much? We tested it on over 40 shots, and in this unsponsored review, we will show 3 valid reasons you should try it. First, near CGI video effects.
Hey, look at this. This is Hollywood quality video.
Second, director level control thanks to the model following prompts and timestamps with precision. And third, actions and performances look shockingly real. We'll also show how to prompt Seedance 2.0 to achieve the action we want in the very moment we want it to happen.
I mean, this is really, really high quality.
Visual effects. Can you picture your films enhanced with striking visual effects that look like they belong in a blockbuster? That's the promise of Seedance 2.0, opening doors wider than ever.
I mean, it's almost there.
Watch this.
Not much longer before video is completely solved.
This is where Seedance gets dangerous, in the best way. It can deliver shots that normally demand a full VFX pipeline, complex distractions, simulated force and weight, large-scale effects, and cinematic spectacle that reads like expensive CGI. The kind of shots that used to be reserved for studios with huge teams and even bigger budgets. But here's the key point. It's not VFX for the sake of chaos. The best Seedance VFX shots feel composed, clear focal point, readable action, believable physics cues, and motion that doesn't collapse into mush. That's why filmmakers care, because spectacle is only valuable when the audience can follow it. Now imagine you want to finally be a film director, deciding exactly what happens and when it happens inside your shot. With Seedance 2.0, that's finally possible. Because this is the model that genuinely listens to the timing you set and executes it with a high level of precision.
And legal.
It is not an option as a lawyer today to refuse to use AI.
There will be room for good and very good lawyers, but the room for just lawyers.
No new lawyer jobs. Yeah, only the old people
Today, we are talking about.
We're about to be out of the industry anyway.
Artificial intelligence to make this piece of work even smaller, to make it more efficient, to really use your legal skills where they are needed. We really try to
make it sound good, but it's really just
in the minds of the lawyers, because
it's just the end of the workforce, of the human workforce.
And that right there is the big dilemma, isn't it? The very same autonomy that makes these agents so incredibly useful is also the exact thing that makes them potentially dangerous.
Double-edged sword.
So let's break down what those dangers actually look like.
So what are we really talking about here? It's not just some abstract fear. We're talking about serious, concrete risks. You've got data leakage, where an agent could accidentally or maliciously spill sensitive info. It could be tricked into executing malicious code, basically opening a backdoor into your system. It might just take unintended actions, like deleting a critical database because of a misunderstanding. And then there's prompt injection. That's a scary one. That's where a clever attacker can essentially hijack the agent and make it do whatever
who has control?
So it all boils down to this. You just can't deploy something this powerful if you can't control it.